Traveling is meant to be an adventure, exploring new places, seeking thrills, and creating unforgettable memories. But sometimes, what starts as a dream vacation can take a dark and unexpected turn. From deadly wildlife encounters to falls into fiery craters, some tourist deaths are so shocking they stay etched in our minds. These stories aren't just tragic. They're a reminder of how unpredictable and dangerous the world can be. Here are 5 of the most chilling tales of vacations that ended in disaster, forcing us to ask ourselves, can one ever escape death? In the early hours of a stormy morning on Mount Warning in northern New South Wales, Australia, a tragic turn of events shattered the dreams of 2 young adventurers. Sam Beatty, a 24-year-old American backpacker from New York, lost his life in a freak lightning strike that illuminated the summit where he and his girlfriend, Michelle Segala, had pitched their tent. The couple had embarked on what was meant to be a year-long journey across Australia, a time to explore the country's vast landscapes in a camper van and savor the freedom of the open road. They had arrived 8 weeks earlier, brimming with excitement for the adventures that lay ahead. But on that fateful Tuesday, their plans were struck down by the raw power of nature. In the dead of night, as a thunderstorm raged across the mountain, a bolt of lightning tore through the sky, striking a towering tree above their tent. The energy surged downward, instantly claiming Sam's life. Michelle, just inches away, survived but suffered head and neck injuries, left dazed and reeling in the aftermath of the strike. The echo of the thunder was replaced by her cries, carrying through the storm until they reached 2 hikers nearby. It was the hikers who raised the alarm, rushing to the scene to find Michelle in shock and Sam unresponsive. Despite their desperate efforts to revive him, attempting CPR for over an hour, it became clear that the lightning had been merciless. Sam had died instantly, his life snuffed out in a flash of brilliance that no one could have foreseen. Emergency services were called, and a rescue team of 25 worked tirelessly to recover Sam's body from the mountain summit. The descent was arduous, taking nearly 2 hours to navigate the rugged terrain in the pouring rain. Meanwhile, Michelle was treated for her injuries and taken to Murwillumbah Base Hospital, where she began to process the devastating loss of her partner. Mount Warning, also known as Volumbin to the indigenous Bunjalung people, rises to 1,550 meters and is a popular destination for hikers drawn to its breathtaking views. But its beauty belies the dangers that can emerge without warning. Camping is strictly prohibited on the summit, and climbers are strongly advised to avoid the peak during thunderstorms. On this occasion, however, the rules of safety were tragically overshadowed by the allure of adventure. Sam's untimely death was a cruel reminder of nature's unpredictable and unforgiving power. What began as a night of closeness and wonder under the stars ended in heartbreak, leaving Michelle to grapple with the loss of her companion and the memories of a journey that was tragically cut short. Mount Warning, a place of awe and inspiration, became the setting for unimaginable sorrow. We should all remember that the wilderness, though captivating, holds dangers that can strike without notice or mercy. The beach, with its sunlit waves and tranquil shores, promises leisure and serenity. Yet, beneath its glimmering surface, shadows move that remind us that nature's beauty often conceals its dangers. Sharm el-Sheikh, a paradise along Egypt's Red Sea coast, learned this lesson in December 2010 when the waters turned from crystalline blue to a harrowing shade of crimson. Sharm el-Sheikh had long been a haven for divers and snorkelers because of its vibrant corals and over 1,000 species of exotic fish. Yet, that December, its allure was overshadowed by an unseen danger. What began as the perfect holiday for tourists turned into a scene from their worst nightmares. Nina Dzinski, 46, from Wigan, England, lay sunbathing on the warm sands, having just emerged from snorkeling near the beach. The stillness of the day shattered with frantic shouts in Russian, slicing through the air. "Shark! Shark!" Chaos erupted as vacationers sprinted from the water, their faces twisted in fear. Among them was Nina's husband, Jaroslaw, 49, who had been swimming when the predator struck. Everyone scrambled. People clawed their way onto the jetty, desperate to escape, but for one man, escape came too late. Mohammed Rashad, a barman at the nearby Al-Bar beach restaurant, witnessed the horrifying aftermath. Blood streaked down the victim's leg as he staggered from the water, leaving a grisly trail in his wake. The sea had turned red from his blood. As if the first attack weren't enough, minutes later, the shark struck again. A diver from a local rescue team pulled another victim from the blood-tinged waters. 4 men carried him to safety. His hand was barely attached, hanging by a sliver of skin. The once bustling beach emptied in moments, the cheerful sounds of vacationers replaced by a chilling silence. Terrified tourists retreated to their hotels, abandoning sunbeds and even the shoreline. The sparkling waters, once inviting, now seemed ominous, a stage for something ancient and deadly. For Sharm el-Sheikh, this was not an isolated incident. The previous day, the same predator had struck, leaving 4 injured, 3 Russians and a Ukrainian, with gruesome wounds to their limbs and backs. The victims were rushed to hospitals in Cairo, their fates uncertain. Reports described severed limbs, backs clawed open, and lives forever scarred. The predator was identified as an oceanic white-tip shark, a species as graceful as it is formidable. In response, Egyptian authorities acted swiftly. The beaches were closed, and conservation teams deployed to capture the culprit. By the end of the week, 2 sharks were caught and dissected, their stomach contents examined for grisly clues. One, authorities claimed, matched the description of the killer photographed by a diver just moments before the attacks began. But the damage was already done. The vibrant beaches of Sharm el-Sheikh, once filled with laughter and the soft murmur of waves, were now deserted. Visitors packed their bags, vowing never to return. Those who stayed avoided the water entirely, clinging instead to the safety of shaded bars and cold drinks, their gazes fixed warily on the restless sea. While shark attacks are rare, statistically improbable even, they evoke a primal fear that transcends logic. In the U.S., the odds of being attacked by a shark are 1 in 11.5 million, and the chances of such an attack proving fatal are less than 1 in 264 million. Yet, when the unthinkable happens, those cold numbers mean little. Fear grips the imagination, fed by tales of fins slicing through the water, of sudden, brutal strikes. For the survivors of the Sharm el-Sheikh attacks, the idyllic paradise had been irrevocably changed. The sparkling Red Sea, home to beauty and wonder, now bore the shadow of an ancient predator, a lesson that the line between leisure and peril is as thin as the tide washing over the sand. A family's dream vacation to the magical world of Disney took a devastating turn, transforming the happiest place on Earth into a scene of unimaginable heartbreak. What should have been an evening of laughter and wonder ended in tragedy when 2-year-old Lane Graves was snatched by an alligator and dragged into the dark waters of the Seven Seas Lagoon. The horror unfolded late on a warm Tuesday evening as families gathered along the sandy shores of the artificial lake at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. The air was alive with the sounds of fireworks bursting over the nearby Magic Kingdom and the soft hum of an open-air movie playing in the background. Lane, the youngest of his family from Elkhorn, Nebraska, had been playing near the water's edge, a picture of innocence and joy. In a flash, the tranquil moment shattered. A sudden splash drew Lane's father's attention, the sound seeming harmless at first, perhaps a fish breaking the surface, or so he thought. But within seconds, his worst fears materialized. The splash wasn't innocent. His son was in the jaws of an alligator, its powerful body blending seamlessly with the murky lagoon. Desperation surged through Lane's father as he lunged into the water, his instincts overcoming the sheer terror of confronting the predator. He wrestled furiously with the creature, clawing and fighting to free his son. But the alligator's grip was unrelenting, its primal power unstoppable. Before he could save Lane, the animal vanished beneath the surface, taking the boy into the depths of the lagoon. The scene spiraled into chaos as emergency calls were made and rescuers raced to the resort. The shoreline, once lively and filled with the laughter of vacationers, became a staging ground for a frantic search and rescue operation. Dozens of personnel, equipped with sonar technology and divers, scoured the lagoon through the long night, their efforts driven by the faint hope of a miracle. By the following afternoon, hope gave way to devastating reality. After an exhaustive 16-hour search, divers recovered Lane's lifeless body. His small form was found intact just beneath the surface, not far from where he had been taken. The alligator, estimated to be between 4 and 7 feet long, had disappeared without a trace. The grief-stricken family, who had arrived at the resort only days earlier to begin their summer break, faced an unimaginable loss. What began as a celebration of togetherness had become a nightmare, etched into their lives forever. The incident cast a shadow over the resort and beyond, a reminder of nature's unpredictable force, even in seemingly controlled environments. Signs warning against swimming in the lagoon dotted the area, but none specifically mentioned alligators, an oversight now under scrutiny. The Seven Seas Lagoon, like much of Florida, is part of a habitat where alligators are a natural presence, their silent, lurking forms hidden just below the waterline. The tragedy sent shivers across the nation, sparking a conversation about wildlife safety in recreational areas. For Lane's family, however, no measure of policy or change could undo the loss. They had come to Disney seeking wonder and joy, only to leave carrying the weight of unthinkable sorrow. Even as the fireworks continued to light up the skies above the Magic Kingdom, nobody could forget the little boy and how quickly life's joys can be pierced by nature's darker truths. Yellowstone National Park is a place where beauty and danger exist side by side. A landscape of stunning thermal pools, geysers, and steaming hot springs that hint at the volatile forces beneath the Earth's surface. For 23-year-old Colin Scott, a recent college graduate from Portland, Oregon, a visit to this extraordinary park should have been a thrilling adventure, but on June 7, 2016, his curiosity led to a devastating tragedy that left nothing behind but haunting memories. Colin was visiting his sister Sable, who lived nearby, and the siblings decided to explore Yellowstone together. Their journey brought them to the Norris Geyser Basin, an area famous for its vibrant thermal features and unpredictable terrain. The park's many signs warned visitors to stay on the boardwalks, designated paths built to keep people safe from the fragile ground and deadly hot springs. However, the siblings chose to ignore these warnings, drawn by the allure of something forbidden. With Sable recording their adventure on her phone, the pair wandered into a restricted area. They were reportedly looking for a spot to hot pot, a risky and illegal activity where people attempt to soak in the park's thermal pools. While these steaming waters may appear inviting, they are far from safe. Heated by underground volcanic activity, the pools can reach scalding temperatures and contain highly acidic chemicals capable of dissolving organic material. As they ventured farther off the boardwalk, the unthinkable happened. Colin slipped and fell into one of the boiling springs. Sable, just steps away, could only watch in horror as her brother was engulfed by the scalding, acidic water. The tragedy unfolded quickly and mercilessly, leaving no time for rescue. Frantic, Sable called for help, and park rangers rushed to the scene. However, the conditions in the Norris Geyser Basin were too treacherous to mount an immediate recovery. The unstable ground and intense heat posed grave risks to rescuers, and an incoming lightning storm forced them to retreat. When they returned the next day, Colin's body was gone, dissolved by the boiling, corrosive water. The National Park Service later released a report on the incident, shedding light on the events leading up to the tragedy. Deputy Chief Ranger explained that the siblings had deliberately left the safety of the boardwalk in search of a thermal pool. It was a decision with fatal consequences. Sable later told investigators that Colin had been visiting her to celebrate his recent college graduation, and the trip to Yellowstone was meant to be a highlight of their time together. The Norris Geyser Basin is one of the park's most active thermal areas, where water temperatures often exceed 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately 93 degrees Celsius. These natural wonders may look serene, but they are anything but. The acidic waters and extreme heat make them incredibly dangerous, a reality tragically underscored by Colin's accident. Yellowstone's geothermal features are both mesmerizing and lethal, shaped by powerful volcanic forces beneath the Earth's crust. While the park's rules and warning signs exist to protect visitors, Colin's story is a reminder of what can happen when those warnings are ignored. Even a single step off the designated path can have catastrophic consequences. For those who knew Colin, the loss was immeasurable. What should have been a joyous celebration of his accomplishments became a cautionary tale about the unforgiving nature of the world's wild places. His death serves as proof that Yellowstone's beauty comes with immense power, and that power must be respected. Colin's story lingers as both a warning and a sobering lesson. Yellowstone is a place where the raw forces of nature are on full display, beautiful, mysterious, and utterly unforgiving. For all its wonder, it demands respect, reminding us that in its grandeur lies a potent and perilous power. What was meant to be a thrilling adventure in Bali turned into a chilling tragedy that no one saw coming. A 25-year-old Swedish tourist, who had come to the island with two friends, met a terrifying fate on the slopes of Mount Batur, one of the island's most iconic yet unpredictable volcanoes. What began as a simple hike to witness a sunrise would soon spiral into a nightmare that would leave everyone reeling. The three friends embarked on their pre-dawn trek up the 5,600-foot Mount Batur, a destination famed for its breathtaking views of the sunrise over Bali. Located about 40 miles northeast of Denpasar, the volcano attracts hikers eager to witness its awe-inspiring panoramas and the vibrant hues of the morning sky. The trail leading up to the summit is well trodden, and the steep edges of the crater's rim have become a known path for those seeking the perfect shot or moment of reflection. But in the shadows of its jagged cliffs, something far more sinister waited. As the group made their way along the narrow, crumbling rim of the crater, disaster struck. The young tourist, unaware of the peril beneath his feet, lost his balance and plummeted into the abyss. Falling over 500 feet into the depths of the volcano, the impact was swift and final. Authorities later confirmed that he did not survive the fall. The hours that followed were filled with frantic efforts to retrieve the body. The terrain surrounding the crater is treacherous, its steep walls and unstable rock formations creating an almost insurmountable obstacle for rescuers. As they made their way down into the crater, the weather began to turn against them. Fog, heavy rains, and poor visibility slowed the operation, and it was clear that time was running out. Mount Batur, an active volcano known for its regular steam emissions and occasional eruptions, has claimed the lives of other adventurers before. With 26 eruptions recorded since 1840, the mountain's fury is a constant reminder of the volatile forces that lie beneath its surface. Despite its menacing reputation, the volcano is often considered a relatively safe destination for tourists, at least on the well-maintained paths leading to the summit. But the tragic incident that unfolded on that fateful day raised an unsettling question. How well do we truly understand the dangers of nature, even in the most popular and frequently visited locations? For the two remaining friends, the events of that day would haunt them forever. What was supposed to be a life-changing experience, an opportunity to witness one of the world's most spectacular sunrises, was shattered by an unpredictable force. In the end, the tragic accident served as a stark reminder that nature, no matter how inviting or beautiful, harbors dangers that cannot always be seen or anticipated. As rescue teams finally retrieved the body of the young tourist from the crater, the island of Bali seemed to hold its breath. Local authorities expressed their sympathy, while also emphasizing the inherent risks of such remote and challenging landscapes. Hiking Mount Batur may have been a dream for many, but it was now a nightmare for one family, and a lesson for the rest of us that even the most enchanting places on Earth can harbor the most unforeseen dangers. For Bali, its beauty is undeniable, But this incident serves as a chilling reminder that beneath the stunning vistas and panoramic views lies the raw, unpredictable power of nature. The death of the Swedish tourist, lost in the vast depths of Mount Batur, now stands as an eerie testament to the fragile line between adventure and disaster.